What is being reported out of Los Angeles right now is raising serious concern among people who were on the ground during a protest that they say began peacefully and ended in chaos after police allegedly used Kettling tactics to contain and control the crowd. According to multiple accounts from participants, the situation shifted quickly as police presence intensified and demonstrators found themselves boxed in with limited movement, leading to confusion, fear, and a sudden breakdown of what they describe as a peaceful demonstration that had been ongoing without violence at the start. People involved in the protest are saying they were not engaging in destructive behavior, they were not creating disturbances, and were simply exercising their right to gather and speak out. But they claim the response from law enforcement escalated the situation in a way that made it difficult for civilians to leave freely once containment began. Witnesses describe a moment where exits appeared restricted and movement became controlled in a way that left many trying to find ways out of the area, with some participants managing to escape the containment while others were detained or arrested as officers moved through the crowd. There are reports of arrests, though exact numbers and official documentation have not yet been clearly confirmed publicly at this stage, and authorities have not fully laid out their detailed timeline of events as described by those present during the protest. What is being emphasized strongly by attendees is the feeling that a peaceful demonstration was disrupted, not by internal escalation from the crowd, but by external enforcement action that changed the tone of the entire situation within a short span of time. Emotions on the ground are being described as intense, with people saying they felt trapped, frustrated, and unsafe as the situation unfolded, especially as communication and movement reportedly became more restricted. The actions being described fall under what protesters refer to as kettling, a crowd control method where groups are contained within a limited space, and this tactic has historically been controversial because of how it impacts the ability of individuals to disperse safely. Law enforcement agencies, including the Los Angeles Police Department, have not yet released a full, detailed breakdown responding to these specific claims in this incident as described by participants. But in general, police departments often argue that containment strategies are used when there is concern about safety, unlawful assembly declarations, or potential escalation risks within large gatherings. However, those justifications are not fully verified in this moment based on what protesters are currently reporting. And the accounts coming from the ground are focused heavily on the feeling that a peaceful day was disrupted and turned into a confrontation that led to arrests. Civilians involved are now calling attention to what they describe as another example of heavy-handed crowd control, arguing that people exercising their right to protest should not be placed in situations where movement is restricted in a way that leads to panic or detainment. At this stage, what remains clear is that there are two competing narratives forming, one from demonstrators describing a peaceful protest that was contained and disrupted, and another expected from officials who will likely provide their operational justification for how and why the crowd was managed the way it was. Until more official details are released, the situation remains under public scrutiny, with many demanding clarity, accountability, and transparency regarding how the events unfolded and whether the response matched the conditions on the ground. For everyone who is listening, if you have not yet followed or subscribed, please feel free to follow my page so that you don't miss what's coming next. Please feel free to like, share, and comment. Thank you so much. With love always. Maria DC Santiago.